This terrifying discovery was made from space. Melting ice has revealed a top-secret hidden Soviet base. But as soon as they got closer, all transmissions from inside the base stopped. But when the rescue team entered the facility, they discovered that someone or something had been here recently. They found fresh footprints in the snow outside the base. But how could this be? The last recorded signal from within came from a faint heartbeat monitor, and a whisper in Russian that said, "I am here." And that was over 40 years ago. The base was established in the early 1960s at the height of the Cold War. By 1972, construction was complete, and the Soviets began sending personnel to the site. Its purpose was unknown. All we know is that it was top secret and highly classified. But after 4 years of operation, the base was abandoned. As far as we knew, all communication with the base ceased. The Soviets simply closed down the project without telling anyone why. Now, decades later, satellite images caught a glimpse of an anomaly beneath the ice. What they saw was strange. No building should be this symmetrical. The structure looked man-made, but it wasn't like anything they'd seen before. It appeared to be a large dome-like shape buried beneath the ice. This suggested something very important. The Arctic glacier above was melting faster than usual. What scientists saw in these satellite images was not just a mysterious structure, but proof that our planet is getting warmer. But no one paid much attention until the structure was spotted again 2 years later. It was clear now that the glacier was thawing. Something was being unearthed. But what? The only people who even knew about the base were old employees of the Soviet Union, most of whom have since passed away. This mystery remained unsolved until one day when the unthinkable happened. The dome broke free of the ice and part of it cracked open to reveal what lay inside. It was a huge surprise. Humanity got a glimpse of a world that had been hidden for over 40 years. This was the perfect chance to solve the mystery once and for all. A modern team was assembled, experts from various fields who would take over where the Soviets left off. But they had a lot to contend with. The environment of the Arctic wastes is unforgiving. Their ship had to battle enormous waves, freezing temperatures, and strong winds to reach the island. When they arrived, they saw the full scale of what had been buried. There was a large research base with many buildings. Most of the structures seemed to be intact. They hadn't stood the test of time, and the harsh weather conditions had taken their toll. Windows were shattered, doors hung off their hinges, and walls had collapsed. But deep within the complex was a building that seemed to have survived unscathed. It was completely buried beneath the ice, but the recent thaw had revealed it. The team's mission was simple: explore the base and find out what secrets lay within. But they didn't expect what they found next. Equipment still running on emergency power, computers still whirring away, and lights still buzzing. It was as if the workers had just stepped out for their lunch break. But there were signs that someone had returned to the base. On one of the walls, almost invisible beneath a layer of dust, were claw marks. This was on the inside of the door. How could anyone get in or out if the base was supposedly abandoned? As they ventured deeper into the complex, things started to get weird. They were about to find some truly disturbing clues. The next morning, the team was greeted by a chilling sight. Overnight, thick layers of ice had formed. It was impossible. The temperature was well above freezing, and there shouldn't have been any ice at all. As they made their way through the corridors, some of them started to hear their names being called. At first, they thought nothing of it, but the voices kept getting louder. Then they noticed something else. The reflections in the ice-jammed windows didn't match their movements. There were several members of the team missing. Some of them had disappeared without a trace. It was at that moment that they realized they weren't alone. Someone or something was watching them. And whatever it was, it wanted to play a deadly game of cat and mouse. Deep within the base, the team found an old tape recorder and a stack of reel-to-reel tapes. When they played the recordings, all they heard were blood-curdling screams. Whispers in an unknown language and a distorted voice saying, "You brought something back from the ice. It speaks in your voice." Then the team found an old frozen journal. It told the story of a group of researchers who discovered a hidden chamber beneath the ice. According to the journal, they found a doorway leading to a subterranean chamber. The entrance was covered in claw marks. The book described a presence, something ancient, invisible, cold, and psychic. Whatever it was, it seemed to be growing stronger. That night, the voices got louder and the shadows seemed to move on their own. Eventually, the team decided to retreat to the surface, but what they found the next morning was terrifying. More ice had formed, blocking their exit. It was clear that whatever was hiding beneath the ice was trapping them. In a panic, the team tried to dig a hole through the ice, but it was no use. From somewhere deep within the structure, the ice began to crack. As they watched in horror, a glowing figure emerged from the ice. It walked down the corridor towards them, casting no shadow behind it. As it approached, they could see that it was humanoid in shape, but it seemed to be made of pure energy. Whatever it was not a ghost. It was something more sinister. It fed on human voices, taking them as its own. It used their bodies to manifest itself in the physical world. The team realized that they were trapped with something evil. They searched the base for a way out, but they were too late. Whatever was hiding in the basement had already claimed its first victim. The missing researcher was nowhere to be found, but his voice echoed throughout the halls. Somehow it had taken his place. At the very center of the base, the team found a large metal door. It was sealed shut with red tape and a big sign warning them not to open it. Of course they did. What was on the other side? Behind the door was a staircase leading down into darkness. There was a faint glow at the bottom, beckoning them closer. The team sent one of their number down to investigate, but no one came back up. Following the sound of his screams, the others went down the stairs and found a massive chamber filled with a black pool of ancient ice. The pool was pulsating with an eerie glow. When they peered into the darkness, they could see shadowy figures swirling beneath the surface. As they watched, those shadows reached out and touched the sides of the pool, leaving claw marks in their wake. In the end, the creature took the life of Dr. Voss. She managed to send one last transmission before it consumed her. This is Dr. Voss. If you hear this, do not come to the ice. I made a mistake. The last frame of the video shows another version of Dr. Voss standing silently behind her as she speaks. Now, check out Found Dead in Antarctica, or click this other video instead.